What's up, everybody, and welcome to my TNA Impact Wrestling review. Pretty much, we've kind of been late on the reviews after missing Matt Hardy win the World Heavyweight Championship going heel, which I think was really good booking, I'll say, on this one from TNA, especially how Matt Hardy went insane, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, pretty much getting help from his wife, Reby Sky, and Tyrus turning on EC3. He beat EC3 for the World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match. Pretty much he's now Big Money Matt, or the Icon Matt Hardy. Kind of reminds me of what he did in Ring of Honor when he went heel. And since Matt went heel, Jeff came to the building asking what happened last week, and he wanted to speak to his brother right now. Pretty much Jeff said, "Come to the ring, Matt," and Matt came out as his new video, pretty much, well, I guess the intro said, "I am iconic," pretty much Big Money Matt, let's go Big Money Matt. He pretty much came out in the suit with Reby Sky's Tyrus Hill's his son Maxwell. Pretty much, while you were playing evil redneck Knievel, you got hurt, and I became the World Heavyweight Championship. And Reby Sky pretty much says, "Jeff, you don't need Jeff anymore." And Jeff says, "I'm talking to my brother, not their sister bitch-in-law," he says. Pretty much Matt Hardy didn't tell Jeff that he's, treading on water right now. And that pretty much Jeff went on to say, "You're like a big douche right now, Matt. What's happened to you?" Pretty much. Matt says, he's been doing right his entire life, and now he's been spinning wheels, but he took his opportunity, and now everything is now starting to pay off as he became the World Heavyweight Champion. And pretty much, Jeff is now crippled, and he's the utter Hardy right now. And then Jeff said pretty much this whole title thing's going through your big head right now, and it's just like a fork's getting in the way to send everybody their separate ways. They're always going to be brothers, but they need to go their own way. The fans then chanted EC3, as Jeff said. What I said about EC3, he's one of the best wrestlers ever. And pretty much, he's starting to be on EC3's side, but he's going to give him credit for what he did when he defended the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty much Jeff then went on, there's only one way to settle this. That pretty much, since Jeff Hardy is cleared to wrestle, he said he's going one-on-one with Matt tonight for the World Heavyweight title. His first ever title defense, pretty much. And Matt says he loves Jeff, but, I can't be responsible for what I do to you at the end of this show tonight. So then it will be Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight title in the main event. This is a good promo from both. Even I feel like Tyrus is out there to kind of be funny almost. Not that funny, but he looked funny holding a baby. Why he's a baby in this thing, in a promo. I don't know why, but he's just there. Feast or Fired with tonight, which has always been a hit or miss, which just doesn't make sense with Feast or Fire nowadays. Too many contract issues. Pretty much beer money, both James Storm and Bobby Roode versus Grado, Rockstar Spud, Eric Young, Robbie E, Eli Drake, Aiden O'Shea, Bram, Chris Melendez, Eli Drake, Jesse Goddard, and a Feast or Fire, Drew Galloway. And I'm just going to get through this thing real quick. The people that grabbed a briefcase was Grado first, then Drew Galloway, then Eli Drake, then James Storm was able to get the last case since he let him up there, since Bobby Roode let him up there to get it. This match just always all over the place, and it doesn't make sense anymore with all these contract issues and people keep leaving the company and stuff. And why would you even fire somebody at the end of the show? And even James Storm grabbed me a case. James Storm just kind of came back. What would happen if he got fired tonight after he just came back and reformed Beer Money? Kurt Angle then was in the back talking to Matt Hardy. And said pretty much Jeff went on and said why are you, Jeff pretty much not Jeff, he went to Matt to tell Kurt not to get involved, and he didn't want to face his brother. That's the last thing he wanted to do. He's just you Kurt, we've always had a respect for each other, but you better not get in the way. But it was a good promo from Matt Hardy and Kurt Angle. Tigre Uno versus Managers versus DJZ for the X Division Championship. Tigre Uno picking up the win. Good X Division match, I'll say that. Really good. After that, Gregory Shane Helms came out saying TNA's always been defined by the X Division for years, and he says, are you really want to put that belt in the line against me? Because he wanted to make his return. Are you ready to defend it for the last time? He says, and pretty much Tigger Uno shook his head, so I guess it'll be Uno versus Gregory Shane Helms then for the X Division Championship. Whatever, Shane Helms wrestled a long time. That's not somebody who names the Hurricane. Awesome Kong in the dollhouse in the back is pretty much, she's gonna be facing for the knockout. When you guys gonna be facing for the knockout title one day, but they're gonna take out Velvet Sky tonight. And that pretty much, they said whose house, and they said it's Kong's house. But I never really get a chance to hear Awesome Kong talk that much. So Awesome Kong has some good type of promo ability, because you never hear Awesome Kong ever really talk. She's just a destructive monster. Like I said, X Division match was good. Jesse Goddard and Eli Drake were talking about the briefcase. It's telling you need to be careful with that, he says. And as they were all in the back, they all pretty much sat down in a room somewhere, going to be discussing how who would get the cases, which I'm surprised it was an X Division title shot in the line. Pretty much then later on in the show, Jeff Hardy was talking to Kurt Angle, talking about what happened out there. Said he didn't want to do this also, but he said he's got to do what he's got to do. Matt pretty much told him to get out of the way, and that Matt Hardy, he's building his own brand now. But pretty much, Kurt Angle called Matt Hardy a jerk throughout the time, and he's going to be tearing his brand down, and he says pretty much Matt told him to stay out of his family issues, and he'll handle it. Awesome Kong went against Velvet Sky. Kong beat Velvet Sky, pretty much in a splash off the rope. Pretty much after that, Madison Rain tried to come out, but the dollhouse attacked and held her as Awesome Kong squished Velvet Sky in with another splash after hitting the implant buster. The Wolves cut a promo talking about Crazy Steve and somebody, which pretty much was Abyss, because they wanted their titles back. That some fight with honor, he says, but they wanted to fight Beer Money. But they're going to come with their belts back tonight. The briefcase. As they argued over the briefcase, who would get who, Mike Bennett came in. The Miracle Mike Bennett, talking about, he's always enjoy a good train wreck. But Galloway says, you haven't done anything, you haven't proven nothing to show that you belong here yet. And he told him, it'll be a miracle if you survive, if you ever disrespect me or my wife again, he says. Pretty much Drake opened his case and got a King of the Mountain title shot, which that belt really doesn't mean anything, and Eric Young has it right now. The Wolves came out. There's this female clown woman talked about decay. As Crazy Steve came out then with Abyss, the Wolves went against both of them. The Wolves pretty much won by a DQ, but Abyss and Crazy Steve took out the Wolves as that clown woman spin their face. So this team is now called the Decay, and they beat the living crap out of the Wolves then with their new theme song playing, which was pretty cool what they're doing with Crazy Steve for once, this whole evil clown thing. So Abyss doing heel face turn so many times doesn't make sense anymore, since he was face when he left the Revolution. Now he's heel again, but I'm not sure. Storm and Rude looked at the case, see what was going to happen, what they had in it. Pretty much they had a tag team title shot, so Beer Money was good to go, as the last people was Grado and Galloway. And pretty much it's going to be bittersweet, since Galloway got the World Heavyweight title shot. Pretty much Boris told Grado, you're fired, and you have 10 minutes to grab your things, or security will escort you from the building. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, wow, you only get 10 minutes to gather your stuff, then you gotta get kicked out. You gotta leave after that. You are not allowed to stay in the building. But it doesn't make sense. Why would you do some type of thing to kick him out? And TNA already has enough problems with the whole AJ Styles controversy right now, of how that went and how it was dealt there. Like, I've already spoken on the TNA and AJ Styles thing, which just doesn't make sense. Now, if these contracts are true what TNA had, then they really legally have a right to do something about it. But if they don't, and they were just looking for publicity out of the Royal Rumble, then well, that's on their fault then. Something I think is management problems. They need to get some new management back there. Like, I don't want them to fail. Say, oh, it's a broke company. We hope they go out of business. Hope they go out of business. Yes, TNA was dumb for doing this, if that is true. Like I said before, congratulations AJ Styles on the Royal Rumble. I got no problem with that. He'll always be a TNA original. That's how pretty much he got his career start over there. I may have not been around when he was him and Air Paris and WCW or maybe Ring of Honor, but I sure did watch. The only time I ever first knew AJ Styles when I watched TNA back in 2005. That's how I know about AJ Styles to where he is today right now. Pretty much not one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Hopefully WWE doesn't screw him up. But like I said, it's always going to be a TNA original. Come on, he was on their first show for God's sakes back then. Let's go back to 02, folks, on the first ever show. Main event time, Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy for the World Heavyweight title. As Eric Young came out and said, wait, and he says, how is it that he's getting a title shot? I should be the number one contender. Pretty much Bram and Young started beating up as Jeff Hardy as Matt looked on. And the match never got started. They pretty much set a table to the floor. Beer Money came out for the save, and Abyss and Crazy Steve came out to fight Beer Money. Beer Money fought them to the back as Jeff Hardy was taking out both. Jeff was still down. Kurt Angle tried to come help. Kurt Angle tried to help them, but Tyrus pretty much got in the ring, and Matt stuck him from behind with a steel chair, I think. No, he hit him in the back of the head with his title, so Matt took out Kurt Angle, and then Jeff tried to fight off Bram and Eric Young, but they got the best of Jeff Hardy, pretty much hitting a pile driver on Jeff through the table off the outside floor, and pretty much, I know how TNA does this every year now. Every time they get ready to go on the UK tour, there's always a way to take out Jeff Hardy in some type of injury angle. And this is another one, since Jeff has legal problems anyways. And, he can't really leave the country. That's why we have to injure Jeff Hardy every year, because he can never join the UK tour. So this will probably be the last time you see Jeff Hardy in a while until he comes back after the United Kingdom tour, which I hear was going good, but I don't like it. Well, I know Davey Richards got injured again, the Wolves and Jeff Hardy re-signed. And I don't like how TNA managed this Awesome Kong thing. And the reports that John Garber threw saying that they sent Kong home because of issues with Ruby Sky because she threw her stuff out of the locker room. And I will say this, Ruby Sky is a very bad rep in the wrestling business. Yes, you are married to Matt Hardy, but like what did you put in this business? You haven't put in the time, you haven't put in the dues, you haven't put in the work. Matt Hardy, he's like, over a 10-year plus, probably 20 plus year veteran in wrestling. Been here since, I don't know how long. I've known him since the late 90s in the WWF. But, you can't really blame Awesome Kong. They sent Kong. If you fire Kong, that would be stupid. Like, Kong has always had problems back with TNA management anyway. She had the right to beat up that Bubba the Love Sponge dude because he made fun of Hades last time. And he had the right to get the crap beaten out of him by Awesome Kong. And same thing with Ruby Sky. Like, she doesn't really belong in there. And they've had issues anyways in the past. So can you really blame Awesome Kong for what she did? At the end of the day, Awesome Kong is a wrestler. Get rid of Ruby Sky. She the one that needs to go dress somewhere else. She's not. I don't see her in the ring. She hasn't wrestled. I've never seen her wrestle. Maybe in the indies, but not like anywhere I've seen her actually wrestle a match. So it just doesn't make sense to why was she even in the back in the locker room. And I guess Kong just kicked her out. You didn't belong here. You don't. Awesome Kong, she's put in the work. She's been wrestling for years. Japan, even Impact and in the indies also. Even WWE at one good point, but TNA would be retarded if they fire Awesome Kong. Don't take disciplinary issues against Awesome Kong. If you want to take disciplinary issues, take it with both. But then again, at the end of the day, Awesome Kong is kind of right for what she did. You can't really blame Kong for that. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Good episode of Impact. They tried to follow up from the good, heel turn from Matt Hardy last week, but this is pretty good. And Jeff's injured, so we'll see what happens in the UK tour. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.